Hi, everybody. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining us again for another pop-up, not one of our regular episodes. The mic was kind of far from me. Hopefully the sound came through well. But we're here to talk about U.S. immigration, general education only, not intended for individual legal guidance. But yeah, if you have questions on this Sunday, almost 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern, shout them out. We'll talk a little bit. If you have questions about timelines, I don't have answers for you, frankly, but that's the question we get the most. And if you really want to get your questions answered and not on TikTok, it's better to follow us on YouTube. It's JQK Law or Immigration Talk. Find us and ask there, because more time I'm going to see it, because people on TikTok just flood us with the same question over and over again. And it's hard to keep track. But yeah, U.S. immigration questions are here to be answered. We're live on TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram as well. So hopefully it's fun. We'll see how long it goes. Depends on the questions and how busy the family gets. It is Sunday. I'll take some time off, but good to see Juan Campos, one of our good friends. Haven't talked to you in a while, bro. And didn't get to see you at Ayla. So hopefully we catch up. Yeah, shoot out your questions. We have, the situation with the parole in place. It's probably going to happen. They said in the summer, so some time. So you start prepping that stuff. Is going to be good. Talk to a lawyer. If you want, we always say email us, so we have your name in our email list. When we have a private seminar on that, we can shout it out. But hey, we got some questions. Let's jump into it. Fernie asks, can it take up to a year to receive an EAD extension receipt? No, it shouldn't take that long. Really, it shouldn't take more than a few weeks. If it does, you got to start contacting the government and see what's going on. Sunil says, I-751 pending. Can I file for citizenship? You can if you've been married and living with a U.S. citizen for the last 3 years, or close when it comes to 2 years and 90 days for your 3-year mark. But you got to satisfy the requirements, but it's possible. I know some lawyers online say it's not, or you have to wait to get I-751 approved first. It's not the case. That is incorrect. You can file, and we almost always do file. There's maybe some exceptions where you don't, but we always file the N-400, because when you file for citizenship with an I-751 pending, it fast forwards the case and they get it done. So it's the way to go, the wise way to go in most cases. Mona says, hi, how are you? I'm doing good. I hope you're doing good. Thank you. I filed asylum case 2015. Now, November, when will the interview be? Who knows? I don't do asylum cases, but asylum cases are backed up. We never know. If you really want to get an interview, you might have to file a lawsuit against the government for the delays. That just might be the way to go. Mr. Poe says, where are you located? I'm Los Angeles myself, but our location does not matter because we do all our stuff by the internet, online, mailing stuff, emails. So location does not matter. Ben says, wife is Iranian but studying in Russia. Oh man, that's a two red flags for on your case. Wife is Iranian but studying in Russia. In case of assigned to Poland, should I ask for transfer? Yes, it's a mess. It's multiple levels. Let's say they're just Russian. It's hard for Russians to get a Schengen visa to go to Poland. So you have, unfortunately, got to go to Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, or Armenia or something like that. And Iranians don't have an embassy, so they typically go to Turkey, Abu Dhabi, or you need to have an immigration lawyer if you're going to do this. But just contact our office. But probably in your case, going to Armenia is going to be best because it's easier, less expensive, and you don't have to worry about getting a EU visa to go to Poland. So Poland will probably have faster interview times, but it's just you might not be able to get the visa. So it's be a mess, Ben. Sorry about that. Saki says, hi, sir. I-130 approved, but I-485 still pending. Does that mean it's denied? No, sometimes they're still pending. It's the inconsistencies of the U.S. government. RB says, I filed a petition for my son 2021, but up till now, waiting for scheduled visa appointment. I haven't seen your case, but things take time sometimes. I'm not sure what's going on and why that is. I got to review your case with you. Mrs. Franklin says, can you use an I-130 reentry permit as a passport because you can't get a passport in your home country? Not a reentry permit. You got to get a refugee travel document. If you're a refugee, that's why you're doing it. The reentry permit can be a substitute for the green card, but not necessarily a passport. You got to get a refugee travel document if you're a refugee. If not, you should be able to get a passport from your home country. How long would an average embassy interview take? It's just all over the place. There's no averages. Mr. Post says, what's the timeline for adjustment of status? Depends what kind of case you have. It could be 3 months, it could be 2 years. And that's if you're a U.S. citizen marriage case. Why isn't Abu Dhabi scheduling interviews? I don't know why, but they don't. And this kind of goes back to bend over. It's like how much the average time? Sometimes it's 2 years. Like Mexico was taking 1.5 years, then it went down to 6. Abu Dhabi is taking 2, and it's not going anywhere. Armenia sometimes 1.5 years, then it's 6 months. And then, it's just all over the place. That's why I don't answer questions about timelines. If I don't have an advanced parole and I already filed for my EAD extension, would it take longer to get? who knows? Who knows about these? Who knows? It's not. You never know. Frankly, no one ever knows about these timeline questions. Just the way the government works. Sometimes fast, sometimes not. And it doesn't. It's not logic. That's the one thing when you're dealing with the immigration department. Wherever you're watching this is take all the logic and math and sophistication that you have and just throw that out the window because that's not the immigration system. Immigration system is like the DMV where you get driver's license with a billion people there. All the employees essentially don't give a damn anymore. And I don't say that to offend them. This is what the Government Accountability Office, they did an analysis, a survey of all the employees, the millions of employees in the federal government. And the people who like their job the least and the least job satisfaction are the people who are sending their cases to. So this just, it is what it is. And Arian says, what are your thoughts on the My Progress tab on USCIS? They're completely unreliable. Don't even bother looking at it. Dr. Amin says, my family is asylee and I came as a derivative asylee, but don't need asylum status. How should I change this? If you're a derivative asylee, you got to get that. It's complicated. You can't just say I'm not asylee anymore because then you'll lose your status. So you got to do that. And there's the issue of if you turn 21 is problematic, if you haven't applied for your green card yet. So there's a lot of stuff that you got to talk with immigration and private about. Kingdom says, my husband's in Jamaica. I filed I-130 and then I have to file I-284. And they know he's in Jamaica. Yeah, I'm sorry that you have to file an I-284. And that's horrible. But you just got to wait for that. We have a question about something's pending. I don't know. Timeline. I can't give timeline questions. Sunil says, okay, great. I'll reach out to your office. Thank you very much. You're great. Thank you so much, Sunil. Best way to contact us is jqqlaw.com/contact, jqqlaw/contact. Another question about somebody whose I-130 is approved, but the I-485 is still being reviewed. It's just the government. They do that. You're welcome, Mona. Laura says, my husband owes money in taxes. He's on a payment plan. Can we still apply for my green card? You probably can, but you need to show that. I got to see it. They've gotten more strict on that, but probably you're going to need a joint sponsor probably. So just get joint sponsor together. Fernie says, I got I-797 from I-797C. Okay, so first of all, don't tell a lawyer you got I-797 or something because that doesn't mean anything. It just means you got a piece of paper. It doesn't give us information. Now, then you follow up and say my fee was waived. What does that mean? Well, it means your fee was waived. I don't really know how to explain that one. Raquel says, how much VAWA lasts to approve? It's all over the place. Okay, do I need a green card to get a U.S. passport? You need to have a green card for a certain amount of time. Then you naturalize to become a citizen. Once you're a citizen, you can file for a passport. Can a green card holder sponsor your parents? You can't have a green card for your parents if you're a green card holder. You have to be a citizen. One more question. I applied for EAD. Okay. Saki says, one more question. I applied for EAD card renewal. I don't see the question in there. S says, we don't have a joint sponsor. What should I do? I don't know. I got to review your case, see what's going on. Schedule private consultation. For citizenship, if you're applying for citizenship payment plans, that works. For green card, I don't remember the regulations really get into that. I wouldn't want to file one with someone as a payment plan pending. Now, if you're at consular processing, do it and see what happens. But adjustment of status, I wouldn't want to get a case denied. So I'd be hesitant. It's something I have to see in research, so you'd have to get hired to research that. Nay says, I filed the I-130 with my husband. He's in Jamaica, but I'm going to get my citizenship interview in a week. How long will it update citizenship? There's no how long. You could tell them 50 times that you're a citizen and they won't listen. And they sometimes tell them once and they quickly do it. So it's all over the place. How to make an expedite request USCIS on my own? Go to the website. It has an explanation on US. Type in USCIS expedite request, and that's a full explanation there. And I have like 20 videos on it. On YouTube, TikTok. Because it's up to you. I don't know where we start. The questions aren't as best today. But okay, so you just make an expedite. You have a reason for it. You call them up and you request it, or go ask Emma. That's pretty much the basis of it. Lauren says, can I do an I-1 visa, but I'm a K-1 visa? I'm not sure. If you're a K-1 visa, come here, get married, apply for a green card. You guys don't get into IR1 and this technical terminology. Immigration lawyers do not use the I-79. We don't go technical. Only person that we use say like, oh, I got this I-797. Any lawyers say that is just trying to make things sound more complicated, so it's harder for you to understand. But really, it's basic. We have people who found their own. They say, I got my NOA1, NOA2 notice. I'm like, you got a receipt? Okay, you got a receipt. Oh, you got approved? You got approved. That's just how we talk. Immigration is about people. Most immigration lawyers are pretty down to earth, so we just talk like that. Navid says, how long does it take to get a USCIS approved F2A case before it goes to embassy? It doesn't matter, probably 2 years. But even if your I-130 is approved with USCIS, the backlog for the F2A is so long that how long it takes for I-130 it just doesn't matter. Lenny says, unless it takes like 5 years or 6 years, it's not going to take that long unless they lose it. Lenny says, if you adopted a citizen, can you apply for siblings? I don't do adoption cases, so I don't know the nuances of that one. I'd have to look it up. But try on I-130 instructions, they might go into it. DA says, we answered that. Hasib says, I'm a U.S. citizen in the military. I applied I-130 for my brother who in the U.S. How long could it take? 15, 20 years. Laddie says, and they're not going to maintain status that long, so it's going to be problematic. They're going to have to do probably parole in place so that program still exists, but they still won't be able to adjust status. Have to do embassy. So it's, even though you filed an I-130, you have big problems in your case, Hasib. You should talk with the immigration lawyer to identify those. Laddie says, Valvo since 2020, how much long? I don't know. Fernie says, do I still get an extension on my C9 EAD after I filed 11 days after expiration? Well, they say that you have to file before it expires. So, no, I mean, the rule is that you have to file before it expires. How long does the IA-24 take? 6 to 24 months. That's why you want to have an immigration training at the beginning to make sure to avoid that problem, unless you're doing follow the joint, which is, it is what it is. Laura says, I asked the question of my husband owing taxes. What's the joint sponsor? Joint sponsor is someone that can fill in the spot of the primary sponsor. But I'd have to research if owing taxes is a problem on the IA-64. For citizenship, it is, but if you have payment plan, it's okay. But I haven't dealt with that in the context of an adjustment or a green card case. 607, I have a spouse stuck in Germany and I-131 denied AP. I'm not sure what's going on there. I-130, did they leave before they got the advance pro approved, or what happened? We need more information. And if abandoned, you just got to do a whole new case all over again. And hopefully they didn't accumulate unlawful presence to be subject to a 3 or 10 year bar. Nabdi says, I'm a green card holder. When I enter the USA, CP stamped admitted LPR on written on stamp. That's what I mean. LPR is lawful permanent residence, so I stamped you as a green card holder. I'm not sure what the question is about that. Another question about VAWA, how long it takes. I don't have answers about how long things take. Jason says, I'm on a J1. Can I apply for F1 towards the end of J1? Is it hard to get? It's complicated. Changing status to F1 is unnecessarily complicated. But if you want to do it. Just got to plan it out. Tamik says, do I send evidence with paperwork or wait until they request it? It depends on how you want to do it. Our firm, we always send all the information that's appropriate with the initial application. Some other firms wait if it's asked. I don't like that method, but it's up to you. June says, is combo card both EAD, AP for 5 years? If it's a combo card, yeah. Mary says, can I upload my marriage evidence on my USCIS account without RFE? The new online system allows that. We typically don't like to send documents unless the government asks for it, and we just send it with the initial application. So I haven't seen your case, so to judge whether it's worth it to do that or not. Mohammed says, I received a request for evidence in my I-751. I've been divorced, and I sent all the evidence. You need to talk with us in private. Getting divorced while the I-751 is pending is complicated. We got to make sure to do it right, but you want your divorce certificate finalized and all that kind of stuff. Lauren says, we're on the final stretch. Definitely, Lauren, I wish the best. Mano says, sir, I filed my I-130 green card on July 22. How long will it take? I don't know how long it's going to take. All right, let's go to some YouTube questions. Orlando, I have asylum pending. How long is that going to take? I don't know. So any question about timelines, I'm just going to say I don't know. I can only, most 80% of the time when anyone says how much timelines are, it's impossible to know. The 20% I could say like with more certainty how long things are. I have to talk with the individual for like 10 minutes and review their documents so I can give them that information. So these questions about how long things take, it's just wasting everyone's time. Please don't ask those. Back here it says my I-130 petition returned from USCIS from embassy. Ooh. I responded to notice of intent to revoke. Can I apply for humanitarian parole child document? Stage of, I don't know. We got to look that back here. That's a horrible situation. You got to see why you got to know NOR. Those kind of cases, we refiled the I-130 as soon as the embassy does that. We don't wait for USCIS, which take like 2 years to respond. You should have had a lawyer helping you with that one to be faster about it. You could do humanitarian parole requests, but who knows? That could take 2 years and still get denied. Back here it says my I-130 petition return. We answered that question. Solok says, how long does it take? I don't know. And then how long does it take? How long? I don't know. My dad has cancer, needs help. What can they do to expedite my mom's immigration process? I mean, I don't know what her process is, but you contact USCIS agency, involve embassy, and ask them to explain why. But we got to see what's going on. How long? More questions about how long. We don't answer those. Should I apply for EAD first? I've not done yet with my green card. I have work in August. I don't know. I can't advise you. This is all general education only and not intended for individual ads. I got green card from marriage, have pending asylum. Also, can I renew home passport? I will not travel home. I mean, if you got the green card through marriage, just we usually withdraw the asylum case and just do what you want to do. I can't advise you to do that without having reviewed your asylum case and marriage case, but that's generally what we do in most cases. But again, I don't know if your case can be different. More how long green card pending asylum? I'll answer that. Dabby says I-130 approved. NBC step until my waiver 212 is approved. Is that good? I don't know. I got to see why you have a waiver request in the first place. Nabi says, can I sponsor my adult siblings for citizenship? They're both born and live in Canada. You can start the process if you're a citizen, but that's going to take 15, 20 years. Global Valley, please stop asking the same question over again. I don't know. It says, I filed my husband and got a mail that showed they received it and how long for approval. Okay. Z says, does parole status count towards the 3 years to apply for citizenship as U.S. citizen wife? No, it's like when you get a green card, that's when the clock starts ticking. You're welcome, Tamika. Roma says, I applied for sibling 2008, got case number, but no response after that. Do you know how long? We got to see if you got your I-130 approved or not, if that was lost, and then it could take 15, 20 years. Jolly says, can you do a self-petition if you overstay? It depends on what kind of self-petition. Maybe a VAWA self-petition, but if you can't do an EB-1A if you overstayed, you can't do adjustment status in those cases, unless you've only overstayed like less than 180 days and you file quickly. So it gets more complicated. Probably not, but we have to see. I have a green card, but I don't have my country passport. How can I go to my country? You apply for your passport and go. That's it. All right. So let's see what kind of question. A lot of questions here about timelines, which is still draining. Please don't ask about that. Okay. A bridge birth certificate was denied. What South African birth certificate is acceptable? Yeah, South Africa has both their marriage certificates too, but they have long versions and abridged versions. You got to get the long version. That's pretty typical for South Africa. Goldam says, can we request visa transfer from Pakistan to Saudi Arabia? It depends on where you're living. It's really based on the country you're living in, lawfully. Will Trump deport immigrants? I mean, they're deporting immigrants right now, so I'm not sure what difference that'll make. Ahmed says, my wife's been on DQ since 2024, 11 November, since 2024. It's not even 11/24 yet. Waiting for evacuation from Afghanistan. I don't know what to tell you. Contact the embassy. Okay, we got Jolly. All right. What is the difference between a waiver and TPS? Well, a complete different. Waiver is forgiveness for some violation. TPS is permission to stay in the United States based on some sort of thing that happened in your home country. All right, so I'm going to answer the questions today aren't as energetic for me. So let's just do 2 more questions, call it a day. Can I bring my kids if I got my U.S. visa as a single and over 21 through my U.S. citizen father? The kids may have, it depends on what kind of case you have, if you're married or not, but maybe the kids would fall in the same case and they should have gotten followed to join. We have to review that. And then one last question. Could you please explain 4 years and 1 day rule for applying for naturalization? Okay, we'll leave it at that. So if you're applying for U.S. citizenship and you've spent more than a year outside the United States, it resets the clock for applying for citizenship. The old rules and kind of even now say you got to wait, instead of waiting a full 5 years, you wait 4 years and 1 day, so that 1 year time you had gets pushed out. But in practice, I have a 4 year, 6 month and 1 day rule, because during Trump's time, they were denying those cases, saying, okay, the 1 year out is okay, but now you're more than 6 months out and we'll deny for being more than 6 months. So you want to cut the legs out of all of that nonsense, maybe even wait a full 5 years if you could pull it off. Having said that, thank you for joining today. We have a regular Q&A time at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. Join us then on YouTube, Facebook, and all these other places. And I've answered questions about siblings like multiple times during this. It takes a long time, but schedule a private consultation, jklaw.com/contact, and we go through it there. Thank you everyone for joining. It was interesting, to say the least. I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.